Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I was halfway through doing my corrector without realizing that I had not pressed record. So while I blend out my corrector, I'll tell you what it is in just a minute. I'll tell you what we're doing in this video. What a morning already. I wanted to get ready with y'all and do my kind of annual, because I do feel like I do this every year, summer bronzy look. There is one product in here that I do feel like is in every single summer bronzy look, and that just goes to show you that it is truly a staple for the overall bronzy tones that I'm shooting for today. I did use a corrector. I only used a little bit of my Chantecaille Stilo number 3, and I'm blending it out, or I blended it out with the BK Beauty 110. And the reason I only used a little bit was I was saying to a camera that was not recording that I'm going to be using a much fuller coverage concealer than usual today. It's one that I have rediscovered in my collection and absolutely love. In fact, I would go so far as to say it's probably my favorite full coverage concealer of all time. And that's when I realized that I wasn't recording. So that's what I've done so far. Because the eyes are super simple, per usual, I'm starting out with the complexion. So I have that little tiny bit of corrector, probably didn't even need it at all with the concealer that I'm using. But for the foundation product, I feel like and maybe I've only talked about this once, but I've been wearing it a lot. So I feel like I've talked about it more than that. But this is the Sisley Phytohydratant Tinted Moisturizer. And this is in the shade number 1, Light, which on a normal day, especially in the fall and winter, is going to be the perfect shade for me. But for a look like this, I really like to make things look bronze, hence the name of the video, and just overall warmer to go along with the season. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix something in with this. I have some samples of the I think it's the Sun Glow Gel from Sisley that I have been mixing in with this lately. I'm really loving, but I've also tried it with this, and it's the Chantecaille Anti-Aging Face Tint, and this is in the bronze shade. So I love using this mixed together with some kind of face product, or as like a primer underneath another face product. I don't know that I've ever used it as a bronzer, maybe once to just see how it would work, which is definitely a way you could use it. But I really prefer to use this as a mixer. So I'm going to take a little bit of the tinted moisturizer and a little bit of that bronzer. So you can see definitely more tinted moisturizer than the bronzer. You don't need much of the Chantecaille product for it to do its job. And then I'm just going to apply that like I would any other foundation. This is the IT Cosmetics number 115 brush. And, you know, if I was doing a super minimal makeup and really didn't want to do anything but tinted moisturizer and some mascara, then I would have added more of the Chantecaille to make it a little bit bronzier. But because I know I'm putting a separate bronzer on top, I think this is a good starting point. To me, I feel like the Chantecaille also gives a tiny, tiny, tiny bit more coverage when added to a sheer to light coverage product. And it could just be the color that I feel like is giving me more coverage, but this is a tad bit more than if I used the tinted moisturizer on its own. Now, that concealer that I was talking about is the Lawless Conceal the Deal Full Coverage Concealer. I have talked about this in the past for sure, about liking it, liking how it wears, but I've really been into more light to at the very most medium coverage concealers until Lawless sent me a package with their powders that I talked about in my playing with new makeup videos. And they included a couple of these concealers in it. And it just reminded me that I like it because obviously I already had one in my collection. So I started using it, and it's just, for a full coverage concealer, wears so beautifully on me all throughout the day and is probably the best wearing one that I have ever tried. But when I say full coverage, I mean full coverage. I need a literal dot under each eye. This is in the shade Cashew, and I'm just going to put a dot under each eye, which means this is going to last me forever. I've not tried it as a foundation, but I imagine it would actually be really pretty, especially mixed in with something that had very little coverage, like that mixed in with the Chantecaille Rose Face Tint. I might have to try that because I believe that would be very, very pretty. And this is the BK Beauty 109 brush that I'm using just to press this in. That little tiny bit goes a very, very, very long way. Again, I just feel like for something as high coverage as this is, it wears so beautifully. Now, my under eyes have really been agreeing with me lately. I have been doing a couple of extra steps to them where I feel like in my skincare routine, they are responding very well. I'll do a separate video about that in a couple of weeks, but that might have something to do with it. But I do remember talking about this when it first launched about how much I liked it. So very glad that they sent a couple extra to me so it could remind me to pull that out and start using it again. So I lightly set under my eyes with my Ilia powder, and now I'm going to go on to bronzer. Obviously, the name of the game for this look is bronze, so we're going to kind of play around with a couple of different ones and see what we end up liking. The first one I'm going to use is a cream bronzer, and it's one that I talked about in my new makeup video, but I didn't use, and it's the new Awesome Bronze Gorgeous Sun-Kissed Bronzing Cream from Beauty Pie. And I got the shade Goldilocks, which is the second darkest shade. I honestly think I probably could have gotten, I think it's Sunnyside, which is the lightest shade. Someone asked in the comments for me to compare this new one from Beauty Pie to the Say bronzer, and I have this one in medium bronze. This is the Sun Melt Natural Cream Bronzer. And it's definitely, the Beauty Pie one is definitely more of like an olive undertone, whereas the Say is more warm. So that is the Say right there, and that's the Beauty Pie. So you can see a distinct difference in the color. The formula, the Beauty Pie is a little more emollient than the Say. I would have to put them side by side on my face just to compare the wear of them, but it's kind of like just a initial comparison. So this is apparently a BK Beauty day. I'm taking the BK Beauty 107 brush, and I'm choosing this brush because it's a little fluffier. I would not want to go into this because of the formula with something super, super dense, because it would just put too much product on the face. So I'm going to go in with something a little fluffy, just apply it the very edge of the brush and then stipple it in. But it is also very, very easy to blend in. And because of the formula and the fact that it's a cream, it definitely has more of like a skin-like finish. So I'm going to see once we set and everything if I think we need to, like y'all are doing it too, if I need to add a little bit more bronzer, but right now I think that's perfect. I'm really liking how it's looking. So again, that is the Beauty Pie Awesome Bronze in Goldilocks. Now to set, I'm going to be using my Fit Glow Beauty Instantly Blurring Bamboo Hyaluronic Loose Setting Powder. Lifestyle Ready. That's a long name. I love this powder. It is very skin-like. It mattifies pretty quickly. From what I understand, it's basically silica, which in those formulas, it sometimes feels like you're not getting it on the brush, but I promise you are. You don't need very much. This is a BK Beauty 113. I just pulled out the brushes I felt like would work best for all of these steps, and they happen to be all BK Beauty. So I am using this brush because I really just want to concentrate this powder, smaller areas versus setting my entire face. So definitely down the sides of my nose. I do not like that area to be shiny at all. My upper lip, my chin, basically the T-zone. But I'm also going to put a little bit right here, kind of right under where you would contour down to my jawline. I'm hoping y'all can see the magic of this powder and what it does instantly upon applying it to the face. It's so pretty. I don't have anything extra. I'm just going to put a little bit right here. Honestly, I don't need highlight. I'm probably going to use it today, but really, I don't think this powder is talked about enough. It is a must-have, in my opinion. Now for blush. I'm on a little bit of a Sisley kick right now. And I got the highlighter blush with White Lily in the shade number 1, L'Orchidée. So it is the Orchidée blushes, but this is in the shade number 1, and I think it's just called L'Orchidée. That's what it has on the back. So it's a little bit more of like a bronze shade. with a tad bit of coral, which this is like my favorite type of blush to use for these kind of looks and in the dead of summer, because it's really just an extension of your bronzer and it gives that super natural, I've been in the sun, but I haven't because I wear a ton of SPF and I want to protect myself, but I want to look like I've been out in the sun, that kind of vibe. This kind of blush is what gives that for me. This is also a very pretty eyeshadow. I've used it quite a bit as eyeshadow, especially for like a one and done type of look, like just a wash of color all over your eyes and up into your crease. When you first get these, they do have a overspray on part of the flower that goes away after the first use, and you can really just wipe it off with your hand if you don't want that kind of shimmer on your skin. And I kind of go over my nose, up on the temples. See how pretty that is? Oh, it's so pretty. I am going to take a little bit of a bronzer. This is the Hourglass Diffuse Bronze Light, and I'm just going to slightly touch it up right there. Not because I feel like I need more color, but because I want to set that cream bronzer. Now, I feel like I've set the bronzer I put on my cheeks enough with the blush and the powder that I used, but up here I didn't really touch it with powder, so I just felt like I needed to do that little step so that the cream bronzer stays longer. So back to the blush, so pretty. The exact type of color that I love for this time of year. I've had a lot of people tell me that the pink and the coral ones of that blush are beautiful, and I have no doubt they are, and maybe one day I'll get them, but I'm very, very, very happy with that choice. Now for highlight, even though I don't need a highlight, but I picked out my Merit highlighting balm, which typically I use Kava. Y'all know that's probably one of my very favorite, well, I think it is my favorite cream highlight of all time. But today I picked out Bounce because it's this really pretty golden or rose gold type of shade, which again, I just feel like is going to really go with this look. So I just kind of always paint those two fingers with these especially, but most cream highlights that I use, and then just tap it in. Starting basically up at the hairline and then bringing it down. I don't like to go too much farther than especially halfway. Like if you take the very half of your eye, I don't like going farther than that, but sometimes I even stay up higher. Look how pretty. It's just so pretty. Y'all, this product. Its praises do not get sung enough. At least not that I see, because I love it. And I think they came out with even a more golden shade. Okay, for the eyes, this is the product that I feel like I talk about for every single bronze summer look. And it is hands down a must-have in my collection. Not only for the face, because I do love it for the face, but especially for the eyes. I have been wearing this so much lately, and I do feel like this might be one of my very favorite eye colors to wear as eyeshadow. For me in particular, because my eyes never seem to look as blue, at least in person. I don't know how they're going to come across on camera, but in person, they never seem to look as blue as when I wear this. And it is the bronzer from MAC in Give Me Sun. There's something about the warmth of this that pulls out the blue in my eyes. It's just so pretty. And I am using the Refer number 27 brush, which is technically a crease brush, but it's a little bit fuller than like the 15 or 16 because I'm only using this and an eyeliner. So I'm just going to put this I wanted to say sloppily, but you know what I mean? Like not perfectly all over the eyes. I don't care if some gets on the lid because again, I'm not using another shade of eyeshadow, but I really like to build this color up because I just love it so much. So I'm going to use that as my one single powder eyeshadow. And then I'm going to take the Persona Cosmetics 24-Hour Waterproof Eye Pencil in the shade Copper. No, in the shade Bronze. I am wrong. This is exactly that. It is a beautiful, bronzy, reddish brick shade of eyeliner. It's just gorgeous. And I am going to apply that pretty lazily, not perfect, all over the lash line, and then smudge it in and up, because my goal is not for this to look like an eyeliner. It is for it to give a little bit of definition at that lash line while also working well with that bronzer shade. And because this is a warmer tone liner, it serves that purpose well. Now I'm also going to take that underneath and even a little bit in my waterline, and then use the MAC Give Me Sun to blend it out. I just love the combination of those two products, and it could not be quicker or simpler. Now, I typically do mascara off camera, but I had someone kind of ask why I did that in one of my last videos, and I find it to be very repetitive, a little redundant, and I feel like the effects are pretty much always the same, especially since I tend to stick to 1 or 2 mascaras at a time until they go bad, and then I open some more. But I will do one side quickly on camera so that you can see. And I'm going to use my Kevyn Aucoin lash curler, which is my favorite. It is one that opens up very wide, which I need because I have some little stray lashes right on the outside of each of my eyes that sometimes have issue getting into the lash curler. So the first thing I do after I curl my lashes is do my bottom lashes, and I use my MAC Giga Black Lash for 2 reasons. One, it is a tubing mascara, so it absolutely will not smudge underneath the eyes. And 2, the wand is the absolute perfect size for lower lashes. I do lower lashes first because if you can see, when I look down like this, those top lashes hit my eye or my eyelid. And if I were to have already done my mascara on that eye, there is a higher risk for transfer onto my upper eyelid. So I find for that purpose, doing my bottom lashes first is way easier. And I take whatever eye primer I am using. At the moment, right now, it is my L'Oreal Voluminous Primer, which I absolutely love. And I will coat the lashes of one eye with that. I will give that a couple of seconds to set, long enough for me to use my Pixie Endless Silky Eye Pencil, I think it's called, in Black Noir to tightline my eyes, just like that. And then I will use my mascara. This is the Jane Iredale Beyond Lash Volumizing, and I look down, down, down so that I don't risk getting any more mascara on my upper lids than I will normally, because inevitably I usually always get something. But when you look straight down into a mirror like this, it helps that transfer from happening. Then I will repeat those same steps on the other eye, go back and do a second coat of mascara on both eyes, and be done. So that's what I will do off camera, and we'll finish off with lips and perfume. Okay, so all we have left as far as makeup is lips. And if you know me, you know I am 1000% a gloss girl, especially in the summer. I don't want anything too heavy. I want something that's easy for me to pull out of my pocket and reapply. So I'm going with the Beauty Pie Wonder Gloss Collagen Lip Oil in Naked Peach. I mean, it's peach. It's also not very peach. It's kind of like a, it's got some peach in it, but it's like a mix between an oil and a gloss. Very moisturizing, but not sticky whatsoever. This particular one has a little bit of shimmer in the formula, but it's not something I can feel on my lips or really even see on my lips outside of the effective shine that it gives. I just really like it. Really like it. I like it by itself, obviously, and I like it as a topper as well. So let's talk about fragrance. There is a new house that Twisted Lily has started selling, and it is the house of Thomas DeMonico. I had never smelled anything from this house before they started carrying them, and they sent over this one, and this is called Eau Cœur. Y'all, my French is sad. Cœur. C-O-E-U-R, which means heart in French. I do know that much. So this is unlike anything I have in my collection, which I love. It's a floral perfume in the sense that I get a lot of magnolia out of this, which is a top note in the composition. Then I also get a little bit of like a tart herbalness to it. It has pink pepper and osmanthus in the top notes as well. Osmanthus is very much something that smells like an apricot or peachy type of vibe. And I can sense that. It has oak and cedar. It's also got ambroxan in it, which I can definitely tell that it has ambroxan in it, but it's not like an ambroxan balm. Like if you don't like that note, I don't think it's something that you don't need to try out, because it's, even though I can tell it's there, it's not overboard. This is a very sophisticated woody floral scent with a little bit of herbalness to it. Now, I saw a review say that this was similar to Baccarat Rouge 540. Absolutely not. I don't see any similarities between the two to my nose. As it dries down, which let me tell you, this sucker lasts 2 sprays and I'm good to go, which I so appreciate. I love a scent that has longevity to it, and this is definitely one that does. As it dries down, you get more of the smoothness from the musk and the tonka bean, a little bit of sweetness from the tonka. But honestly, to me, this is a year-round fragrance that exudes put togetherness. I don't know how else to explain it. I feel very put together when I wear this. It's not overpowering. It's not too feminine, especially for a floral. Really, 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 really nice. I really want to explore more offerings from this house. If you have smelled anything else from Thomas DeMonico, please let me know. I will have this listed and linked. It's with Twisted Lily, so I do have a coupon code for 10% off. And that goes for full bottles and samples. This is nice. This is nice. Now, you have to like florals because they are there. I would not say this is just a woody scent. It is a floral woody scent. Very, very nice. Every time I wear this, I like it more. That's it. That is the summer bronzy look completed. I like it. I always like a bronze look. I never don't like a bronze look. So hopefully you enjoyed it. I will have everything listed and linked down below per usual. I do use affiliate links, so if you choose to use those to support my channel, I greatly appreciate it. Let me know if you have any questions. Be sure and like and subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.